Hello everyone, I'm Akash Mahadevan from the LNM Institute of Information Technology, and this is our project presentation for the course Social Network Analysis. Our group name is 2 School for Cool. Let's go. The first task given to us in the project was to select a dataset from the internet and perform network measures in it. So we have taken WordNet as a dataset. WordNet is the largest lexical database in English. It consists of several words, verbs, adjectives, nouns, pronouns, etc. And if two words have any kind of semantic relationship between them, that is, if they exhibit synonymy, antonymy, meronymy, then there is an undirected edge drawn between two of them. So for the ease of computation, we have taken a simple random sample of about 1500 words, and we have performed our analysis. This is how we have taken the 1500 random words. We have just selected 1500 times some random IDs, and we have appended our words into this subgraph. So moving on, this is the subgraph of our WordNet, and you can see that majority of the words are not at all connected to each other, and we might be able to explain it why so. Okay, so first of all, degree centrality, about 1,000 words are they display about 0 degree centrality. That is, 2/3 of the graph is not connected to each other at all, and there's a peak in here of graphs that we hypothesize as to belonging to a family of words that are connected to about 2 or 3 of them, and about 10 or 20 of them are connected to 4 or 5 of them, and a couple of them are connected to 6 or 7 of them. So we'll see if this hypothesis is true or not. The eigenvector centrality has same 1,000 words that have no relation with each other, and since they are biased, so it's very hard to perform comparative study in the rest of the nodes. So moving on to CAT centrality, as CAT centrality induces a bias term, it helps us in understanding relatively how the words are doing. So as we can see, about 1,000 words again are not connected to each other at all. However, the family of words that we had said, it can be seen over here having some kind of a relationship between each other. Moving on to PageRank essentially, this is where our hypothesis is proven true. PageRank essentially says if you have important friends, that if you have more connected words, you will also be connected. So the second peak that we can see between 0.012, 0012 and 0.0014 is here, and this is something that signifies that a lot of words, the family of words, are connected to each other. So moving on to closeness centrality also, majority of the words are not connected to each other at all, and there is a peak over here at 0.001. That means that it is connected, although it might be a long route with each other. So moving on to clustering coefficients also, we can see that there are only two distinct values, one near 0 and one regarding the family of words that are strongly connected to each other. Moving on to transitivity tells us that about 15% of the words are displaying strong triadic closure, and reciprocity as it is 0, because we are discussing an undirected graph. So that's been my part. Thank you.
Hello, this is Suyash Agrawal. We'll be discussing on dataset 2 for our project of the group 2 School for Cool. So this is a dataset of US airports between network of flights in US airports in 2010. So we contain the nodes are all the airports in the United States, and the nodes show the connection, the edges show the connections between the nodes, that is the flights from one airport to another airport. So this was a directed graph, but we removed the return flights, so this became an undirected graph, and we have taken a random sample of 250 vertices for our analysis in this project. So this is how the database dataset looks like. uh, Now when we do network measures, so when we talk about centrality measure, we can see that most of the nodes central degree centrality is closer to zeros. That is, uh, most of the airports in the United States does not mm, connect to very few airports other than itself. So this shows we have a say degree centrality closer to zero. And when we the degree centrality value increases, we see a very few numbers, and we also see an outlier which is a very high degree centrality. This also shows that the dataset has a property of hub. So this can also be seen in other centrality measures. So when we talk about the clustering coefficients and transitivity, we see that the transitivity is 0.424, and clustering coefficient is also closer to 0. This means that we have if from airport A to airport B, and there is a flight from airport B to airport C, it is very less likely that we'll have a direct flight from airport A to airport C as well. So that's why we have transitivity 0.4. This means that having that connection is 0.4 a percent so 0.4 probability that will have a connection from airport A to airport C. And as we have removed all the return flights, so overall reciprocity is 0, because we have no return flights, no uh, return edge connected between two nodes, like from node A and node B. If you have, so in this case reciprocity becomes 0. That's all for round 1. Thank you.
This is Anirudh from Group 2 School for Cool. Now we'll discuss round 2. We have divided round 2 into two tasks. The task 1 was to find the connected components of the data set that we took in round 1. So in round 1, the first data test we had was WordNet. We have found a random sample of 5,000 nodes for our analysis, and we can see that many nodes are not connected to each other, and the reason is for a in the WordNet data there does not exist a connection between every two nodes, because two nodes might not be antonym or synonym of each other. Now, the largest connected component we received is of 7 nodes, and we can see that node A and node B are connected if they are antonym or synonym of each other. And node B might not be connected to node C, which is connected to node A, because if node A is antonym of node B, then node C might not be antonym or synonym of node B. We have used the NetworkX library to calculate the largest connected component. Now coming to the dataset 2, that is USA airports, we have found a random sample of 10,000 nodes. And since this graph is a directed one, we have found strongly as well as weakly connected component. And in the visualization of the graph, we can see that almost most of the nodes are connected, because there exists a flight between almost all the airports. Here the weakly connected component is of size 55 vertices, while strongly connected component is of size 50 vertices. We can draw the inference that is obvious, that weakly connected component should be of size greater than strongly connected component, because in weakly connected component, node two nodes are connected if uh, we can travel between two nodes, while means reverse while we cannot travel from node A to node B, but if we can travel from node B to node A, while in case of strongly connected component, we should be able to travel from node A to node B as well as from node B to node A. We have found these connected components using the NetworkX library again. Now coming to task 2, here we have to find the first form an Erdős-Rényi graph, which is a random graph, and then uh, plot the value of maximum of total nodes in the largest connected component versus the value of average k. Here, the formula for average degree in a random graph is p into n minus 1, where p is the probability that edge exists between node A and node B. Now we have varied k for from value of average degree from 1 to 5, and we can see that number of edges significantly increase as we increase the value of degree. Now in the visualization of ng by n, where ng is a number of nodes in the uh, most significant connected component, with the ratio of total number of nodes in a sample versus the average degree. So we can see that number of nodes, there's a insignificant change in the ratio of ng by n uh, when the value of k is between 0 to 1, and there's a one mistake in this visualization. These labels should be means reversed. The labels are on the wrong axes. So for the value of k 0 to 1, there's a slight change in the value of ng by n. But from the value of k, averaged degree 1 to 5, the ng by n ratio increases significantly. That is from point almost 1 to 1. And after average degree k equal to 5, that is k greater than equal to 5, uh, the ng by has almost reached to the ng by n ratio has almost reached to 1, and then there's a very slight increase. Hello, this is the code snippet of the above task. Here we have calculated found out the Erdős-Rene graph using the networks library with value of n is 500, and the value of p found out using the formula p equal to average degree upon n minus 1.
Greetings, this is Aditya from group name To School for Cool. This here we focus on the third round of our project. For the third round, we have selected a different data set, considering that our previous data set, if we did community detection on the previous data sets, we could not have got an inference that is more logical. Our previous data sets, as discussed earlier, was the WordNet dataset and the US flight dataset. So we select a dataset here, which is for which community detection can be more applicable. For that, we have selected the Zachary Karate Club dataset, which is made by Wayne Zachary in 1977 from Yale University, which had a group of karate group consisting of 73 students, and there was an administrator and an instructor who had a fallout, for which the club later disintegrated into two different separately working clubs. So it is a sort of data set where we can actually draw some valuable inference by using community detection algorithms. So for community detection, we have used three methods. Two of them is a group-based method and one is a member-based method. The first method that we are going is a member-based method for node reachability. The value for k here is chosen as 3 because our size of the network is pretty small, and this makes sure that our algorithm has a complexity of on cube, so that which is a manageable time complexity. For a larger value of k, we would have had a larger complexity. After adopting this particular technique, we can see that there are three separate communities that have been formed here. which is a slight abstraction from the result that we already have, that there were actually two communities formed in the actual data set. Here is the code snippet for the data set for the method. The second concept that we use is a group based concept, and it uses the modularity as a measure for a particular community. Here, modularity is essentially a concept that means that how farther is it from a random network. So random network is something that will not show a community structure, and we measure modularity by finding a distance between the expected degree of in a random network. So the distance, how different is it from a random network? That is the key idea behind modularity. The result of our algorithm is such that we have here 1, 2, 3, 4 different communities shown with on an average 5 nodes. So the Lewin algorithm, as we discussed earlier, uses the modularity concept, and by maximizing the modularity, we detect communities. So the community distribution is such that modularity is maximum. Next, we go on to another group-based algorithm, which is called Girvan-Newman algorithm. It's a hierarchical community algorithm, wherein a hierarchical community means that a community can be part of a bigger community, and such a community can again be part of a bigger community. So there is a sort of super community and sub community relationship that has been formed. So whenever we have a higher edge between us in a set of nodes, we choose one of those nodes with the highest edge between us and remove that from our graph. Removing that from a graph makes two different communities for us, and from this we form a dendrogram. So the dendrogram is such that we can at certain point of time we can stop making the dendrogram and select the communities that we have. For our purpose here, we have chosen the third level of the dendrogram as our stopping point. So we can see here that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again 5 communities in this particular through this particular method. In our algorithm here, as you can see here, we calculate the centrality, the edge between the centrality. Again, the NetworkX library has been used, and we scale that, normalize that value from 0 to 1, and then here some random noise has been added to the centrality value. This makes sure that we actually select one of the edges to be our most valuable edge, rather than, because there can be a lot of edges with similar centrality value. So adding a random value makes sure that we have one particular edge. So the iSlice here, the generator for a community, is done for 3 iterations, that is up to the third level of the dendrogram, and that gives us our live result. That's all for the round 3 of the SNA project by 2 School for Cool.